Hello students, this is Dr. Mamta Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Kishanlal Public College, Rewari. The topic on which today we are going to discuss is residential status. Residence and tax liability is an important topic in Income Tax Act. An assessee may earn his income in India or outside India or at both places. Which income is assessable in India depends on the residential status of an assessee. So, before determining the tax liability of a person, it means it will be taxable for him or not, the question arises about the residential status. Simply, it means that taxable point or taxable event arises depending upon the residential status of an assessee. So, let us start with our today's topic, residential status. As we all know, tax is levied on total income of assessee. Under the provisions of Income Tax Act 1961, the taxability of total income of each person is based upon his residential status. And this residential status is being divided into two parts, resident, non-resident. It means whenever we have to determine the residential status of an assessee, there will be two different categories. One is resident, another one is non-resident. And this resident category is further divided into two parts, ordinary resident and not ordinary resident. So with the help of this slide, we can understand that an individual may be resident or non-resident at one point of time. If we elaborate this category, then we will say that at one point of time, a person may be ordinary resident, not ordinary resident, or non-resident. First, before understanding the conditions regarding this residential status, first we must know the meaning of residential status. Residential status is a term coined under Income Tax Act and has nothing to do with nationality or domicile of a person. It means the scope of the total income of an assessee along with his residential status is determined with reference to his residence in India in the previous year. Residence and citizenship are two different aspects. The incidence of tax has nothing to do with citizenship. It means in tax, for determining the tax liability, citizenship has no relevance. An Indian who is a citizen of India can be non-resident for income tax purpose. Again repeating, an Indian who is a citizen of India can be non-resident for income tax purpose. Whereas an American who is a citizen of America can be resident of India for income tax purpose. It means an Indian may be taxable or may not be taxable depending upon his residential status, but the citizenship has no relevance in that matter. On the other side, an American who is not the citizen of India can be resident of India for income tax purpose. It means he may be taxable in India, as there is no role of citizenship while determining the tax liability of a assessee. Residential status of a person depends upon the territorial connections of the person with this country. That is, for how many days he has physically stayed in India. It means when a person takes citizenship of a country, then it doesn't matter that to which country he has been citizen. It is the territorial connections of the person with this country which matters, like for how many days he has physically stayed in that particular country, and the country for which we are talking is India. Clear? This is the concept which we have to understand before understanding the different types of residential status. We can conclude here with this residential status. First, citizenship has no relevance. It means it doesn't matter that to which country he has been citizen. The matter is about the physical stay in India. That for how many days in that particular previous year or in the preceding years he has been in India. Clear? There are some important points which one must know for understanding this whole concept. Residential status in a previous year, duty of assessee, dual residential status is possible, same residential status for all sources of income. Like we must know, first we should know residential status in a previous year, that in the previous year what was his residential status, what are the duties of assessee. Dual residential status is also possible. Same residential status for all sources of income. The residence of a person may change from year to year, but citizenship cannot be changed every year. We all know this very well, that a residence of a person totally depends upon his physical stay. So it may change from year to year, but citizenship cannot be changed every year, as there are some basic rules in relation to the citizenship. Citizenship is not possible to change every year. A person may be resident in more than one country for the same previous year, depending upon the income tax act in that particular country. Like he may be a resident in one country as well as in another country also, as this is the total number of days stay which we have to calculate. Clear? So on the basis of residence, the assessee are divided basically into three categories: persons who are resident in India, popularly known as ordinarily resident; persons who are not ordinarily resident in India; persons who are non-resident. There are separate rules for determining the residence of different kinds of assessee. The different kinds of assessees are individuals, HUF, which is known as Hindu undivided families; firms, AOP, which is known as Association of Persons, companies, local authorities, and other artificial judicial persons. So let us first start with the individual. Residential status of an individual depends on two types of conditions. Those two conditions are basic conditions and additional conditions. Two basic conditions are: first basic condition is stay in India for at least 182 days in the previous year. Stay in India for at least 182 days in the previous year. First, the student must know his previous year. Clear? Like the year for which we have to determine his residential status. Like now, this is September 2020. So the previous year will be from 1st April 2019 to 31st March 2020. Clear? So first basic condition states that he is in India in the previous year for a period of 182 days or more. Like if the students has to compute or has to determine the residential status of an individual. Individual simply means an assessee who is not a group of person, individual like Ram, Sham, Sita, Geeta. So first you will note down the previous year, then in the previous year starting from 1st April ending to 31st March, you will find out the total number of days in India. Total number of days for which he has been in India. Clear? The second basic condition states that stay in India for at least 60 days in the previous year and 365 days out of the 4 years immediately preceding to the relevant previous year. This condition look very simple, easy to understand, but it has two exceptions also. First, understand the basic condition. Basic 2 states that he has been in India for at least 365 days during the 4 years preceding the previous year and is in India for at least 60 days during the previous year. You can understand this basic 2 condition in two parts. Like we can divide this basic 2 condition into two parts. First, 60 days in the previous year. Like previous year is 2019 to 20. Calculate his number of days stay in India. Clear? 60 days. Stay in India for at least 60 days in the previous year. If the person is not in India for 60 days in the previous year, then leave this condition. Reason being, both parts are mandatory. Like 60 days plus 365 days out of the 4 years. If the condition for 60 days is not fulfilled, then no need to find out the number of days for the 4 years preceding the previous year. Clear? So first part of second basic condition states that stay in India for at least 60 days in the previous year. After computing number of days stay in India for previous year, if exceeds 60 days, then we will move to the second part. Second part states that 365 days out of the 4 years immediately preceding to the relevant previous year. Relevant previous year for which you are computing, like 19 to 20. Preceding to the relevant previous year. 1920 and 4 years preceding to the relevant previous year. It means 1819, 1718, 1617, 1516. Clear? These are 4 years preceding to the relevant previous year. Then find out the number of days in these 4 years, that for how many days he has been in India. If he has been in India for 365 days out of these 4 years, then the second condition is fulfilled. Clear? So first here we will repeat our two basic conditions. First basic condition is simply just for the previous year, that the assessee is in India for at least 182 days in the previous year. Clear? Second basic condition can be understood in two different parts. First, for the previous year plus 4 years preceding to the relevant previous year. For the previous year, he has been in India for 60 days. For 4 years for 4 years preceding to the relevant previous year, he has been in India for at least 365 days. Clear? Now we will discuss exception to the above rule of 60 days stay in India. Exception you all understand very well, that where this condition will not be applicable. These exceptions are only for the rule of 60 days. It means the exception is only for the basic condition 2. Clear? So what these exception states? First exception states that an individual who is a citizen of India and leaves India in any previous year. An individual who is a citizen of India and leaves India in any previous year for the purpose of employment or as a member of crew of an Indian ship must have stayed in India for at least 182 days during the previous year instead of 60 days. Clear? What does that mean? Simply we say that for basic 2 condition, that the assessee has been in India for 60 days in the previous year. But if the assessee relates to the exception 1, which means that the assessee is a citizen of India and leaves India in any previous year for the purpose of employment or as a member of crew of Indian ship, must have stayed for at least 182 days during the previous year instead of 60 days. Like if in any problem, in any question, in any illustration, if you are given that find out the residential status of an individual who leaves India for employment purpose, then you will note down that point that he has left India in the previous year, in any previous year for employment purpose. So in that case, we will not follow the basic 2. We will only follow basic 1. It means the rule of 60 days shall not be applicable. Rule of only 182 days stay in previous year shall only be applicable. Clear? if the individual has left India for employment purpose or as a member of Indian ship, then 60 days rule will not be followed. Clear? This is the first exception to the rule 1, 60 days. Now the second exception is, if any citizen of India or foreign national of Indian origin, repeating again, if any citizen of India or a foreign national of Indian origin. Foreign national of Indian origin means that either he or either of his parents or any of his grandparents was born in undivided India. Clear? This is known as Indian origin. Foreign national of Indian origin who is living outside India. That means the person was born in India but now he is living outside India. Now comes on a visit to India in the previous year. Clear? The person who is any citizen who is citizen of India or a person who is foreign national of Indian origin who is living outside India comes on a visit to India in the previous year. He must have stayed in India for at least 182 days in the previous year instead of 60 days. Clear? We can understand this in this condition or this exception in this way. Comes on a visit to India in the previous year means that he may come to India for any purpose whatsoever. It may be a business purpose or personal purpose or any nature, or he may come to meet his relations, or he may come for a pleasure trip only. So it totally depends for which reason he has come to India. Here, coming to India is the matter. Clear? So there are two basic conditions. First basic condition states that stay in India for at least 182 days in the previous year. Clear? It has no exception. Just simply find out the previous year, then calculate the number of days in the previous year. Find out that he has been in India for 182 days in the previous year or not. Clear? Second basic condition, which we have understood by dividing it into two parts. One for the previous year, second for the previous 4 years preceding to the relevant previous year. For previous year, he has been in India for 60 days, at least 60 days. And 365 days out of 4 years immediately preceding to the relevant previous year. But for this second basic condition, there are two exceptions where the 60 days rule will not be applicable. First exception simply states that the person or an individual who is a citizen of India and leaves India in any previous year for the purpose of employment or as a member of the crew of an Indian ship must have stayed for 182 days during the previous year instead of 60 days. Clear? Here this employment includes self-employment like business or profession taken up by the assessee abroad. Second exception states that if any citizen of India or foreign national of Indian origin who is living outside India comes on a visit to India in the previous year. Visit purpose may be a business, personal purpose, to meet his relations, or simply to, or he may come for a pleasure trip only. Clear? An individual who is a citizen of India and a member of the crew of a foreign bound ship leaving India, the periods of stay in India shall be determined as may be prescribed. So these were the two exceptions to the rule of 60 days stay in India. So whenever the case is regarding the person who is living India for employment purpose or as a member of Indian ship, as well as the foreign national of Indian origin coming India for a visit purpose, you will note down these two conditions to these two cases, and then you will follow the first basic condition instead of taking 60 days rule. Other than this small points, you also keep in mind that for calculating number of days stay in India, either for basic 1 or 2, days of entry and exit should be included in the period of stay in India. Clear? Like days of entry and exit. Like he has come to India on 2nd April, then has left on 30th April, then 2nd April and 30th April. Day of entry, day of exit shall be the part of stay in India. Clear? Like it will be taken as the part of his stay in India. Another one point you will also keep in mind, like either you will go for basic 1 or basic 2, like 182 days during the previous year, or basic 2 like 60 days during the previous year, and 365 days out of the 4 years. It is not at all necessary that he should stay at a stretch for 182 days. Like in continuity, 182 days are not mandatory. Clear? His total stay for at least 182 days with maybe with different gaps. And it is also not necessary that the entire stay should be at one place. It may be at different places in India. Clear? Like he has left India in April, then he has come to India in May, then again June he has left. So it is not necessary that for continue 182 days he is in India. Clear? Second thing, place doesn't matter. He must be within the boundaries of the country. He is in India for 182 days in India. Clear? It means it is not necessary that he has been in India for 182 days at one single place. Clear? And the same thing is also applicable for basic 2 also. Like he remains in India for at least 60 days or 182 days, as the case may be, during the previous year. It is not necessary that he should stay during the previous year in India at a stretch for 60 days or 182 days, as the case may be, or the entire stay need not be at one place only. Clear? So these are the points which one must know about the basic conditions. Clear? Now we will understand the two additional conditions. Additional 1 states that person must be resident in India for at least 2 out of 10 years immediately preceding to the relevant previous year. Person must be resident in India for at least 2 out of 10 years immediately preceding to the relevant previous year. As we all know that relevant previous year here is 2019 to 20, and then preceding 10 years will be starting from 18 19, 17 18, 16 17, 15 16, 14 15, 13 14, 12 13, 11 12, 10 to 11, 9 to 10. Clear? These are the 10 years immediately preceding to the relevant previous year. Out of these 10 years, he has been resident or he must be resident for at least 2 years. Resident simple means he has been an ordinary resident. So this we will understand after understanding the different status, like how we determine the residential status. But one point first, you understand that out of 10 years he must be resident for at least 2 years out of 10. Additional 2 states that stay in India for at least 730 days out of 7 years immediately preceding to the relevant previous year. As we have computed 10 years, in the same way, first you will find out the 7 years preceding to the relevant previous year. Then we will find out the number of days stay in India during these 7 years. This must be at least 730 days for fulfilling the additional 2. Clear? There are 2 additional conditions. First additional condition states that the person must be resident in India for at least 2 out of 10 years immediately preceding to the relevant previous year. Second additional condition states that he has been in India for at least 730 days out of 7 years immediately preceding to the relevant previous year. Clear? So here is the residential status of an individual. As you are able to see that the residential status here is divided into 3 parts: ordinary resident, not ordinary resident, non-resident. It means an individual may be ordinary resident, not ordinary resident, or non-resident, depending upon the different situations. And the different situations are, as in this table we have written basic condition 1, basic condition 2, additional 1, additional condition 2. Here it is 2. Note down additional condition 2. Okay. So an individual may be ordinary resident or will be termed as ordinary resident if any one of the 2 basic condition is fulfilled, as well as additional condition 1 or additional condition 2 is also fulfilled. It means an individual will be ordinary resident if he fulfills any one of the two basic conditions plus both the additional conditions. Any one of the two basic condition means any one of the two basic conditions simply means that 182 days in the previous year or 60 days in the previous year in addition to 365 days out of 4 years preceding to the relevant previous year. If he satisfies any one of the two basic condition, whenever he satisfies second basic condition, you will also note down the exceptions. If the case is about the exception, then definitely first basic condition is to be fulfilled, as well as both the additional conditions are fulfilled. Only then the individual will be termed as ordinary resident. An individual may be not ordinary resident if any one of the two basic condition is fulfilled but the additional condition 1 or 2 is not fulfilled. One point the student should always know that additional conditions are mandatory. Mandatory simply means fulfilling one additional condition has no relevance. It means whenever we talk about the status of additional condition, both are to be fulfilled. If one is fulfilled, then it has no relevance. Then the individual will be termed as not ordinary resident. If he fulfills both the additional condition plus one basic condition, only then the residential status is to be taken as ordinary resident. Other than this, third status is non-resident. When the individual does not fulfill any basic condition, in that case he will be taken as non-resident. Clear? We can conclude this. If an individual satisfies any one of the two basic condition plus both the additional condition, then he will be termed as ordinary resident. If he satisfies any one of the two basic condition but does not satisfy any one of the two additional condition, then the individual will be taken as not ordinary resident. And the third case, if none of the basic condition is satisfied, then he will be termed as non-resident. Clear? So this was all about the residential status of an individual. For the other persons like HUF, firm, AOP, body of individual, companies, local authorities, the residential status we will be discussing in our next coming lectures. Hope you all understand the concept of residential status of an individual. So first understand the basic conditions, then also understand the additional condition, then you will be able to determine the residential status of an individual. I hope this lecture will help you in understanding this concept. Thank you.